Hello, Top Shot producers. My name is Tim Nazzaro. I'm 39 years old. I live in Orange County, Orlando, Florida, married with no kids. I've also been in law enforcement for about the last 13 years, and I currently work as an auto theft detective. My experience with guns and marksmanship actually began back when I was 6 years old. It's when I got a chance to fire a .357 revolver at an old license plate hanging on a wall. Now, it's a big gun for a small kid, and the thing almost jumped out of my hand. But I did hit the license plate, and I've been hooked ever since. As the years went by, I tried to keep shooting as many things as I could find that my parents would allow me to shoot. Included air rifles, slingshots, bows and arrows, small caliber rifles, even my dad's shotgun we shot some trap with. I got my first shotgun at the age of 17. It was an Ithaca 12 gauge. I used that for deer hunting and trap shooting with my dad. After college, I moved to Florida, and at the age of 22, I bought my first handgun. It was a Glock 40 caliber pistol. Primarily, it was a personal protection weapon, but it did make it several times to the local shooting range for some target practice. When I was 25, I entered the police academy. That's where I started getting my first formal training with any kind of firearms, primarily with handgun and shotgun. First became a cop in '97, and over the course of these last several years, I've gotten proficient and had access and training with several other different types of weapon systems, to include assault rifles, automatic guns, less lethal munitions, and basically anything I could get my hands on at SWAT competitions provided by our agency. Just in the last few years, our agency has also implemented a shooting competition as part of our annual qualification with our duty firearms. In the years that they've been doing this, I've managed to stay in the top shooters out of an agency of 1,500 people. I'm also going to be competing in that competition again as well in this December. The only award I've ever won in this competition was second place so far. This is the only award I've ever received for shooting. I had to pull it out of the ladies' restroom. By no means do I consider myself a specialist in any particular weapon system. I'm not a world or national champion. I'm not a grandmaster class rank shooter. I'm not even a professional sniper, and I don't have any prior military experience. The only competitive shooting I've ever done is right here on my sheriff's office range. You might be saying, why should I even bother keep watching this audition video? Well, what I believe makes me a legitimate threat to this competition is pretty basic. I combine excellent fundamentals with a strong competitive drive that'll make myself a viable competitor on any given day with any given weapon system. That's why the majority of this video was filmed in one shoot. Several of the submissions that you're going to get are showing people with their best of clips shooting particular weapons in different courses of fire and competitions, and they can shoot very fast, but they don't always show what the results of those shots are. While I'm not here to question any other applicant's abilities, I just wanted to make sure that you could see that what my abilities are and that I can actually hit what I'm aiming at. For the Top Shot competition, in order to describe myself, I would be the run-of-the-mill everyday guy that, in my opinion, would represent a pretty solid cross-section of the folks who tune in to watch the show from week to week. I just happen to be the one guy that, without being a strong national competitor or a former military, just knows how to shoot fairly well. I also have that strong competitive drive to me. I've always been a competitor in sports, in my job, everything that I've dealt with through my life so far. The training and experience that I've had both in sports and in law enforcement, I would label that for myself as making me a jack of all trades yet a master of none. In my opinion, it's better to be a well-rounded individual who's better suited to cope with the challenges that life has to offer you, as opposed to being a specialist in one arena. who might tend to fold or feel a little bit of pressure once outside of their own comfort zone. One of the questions on the application dealt with what would you do with the prize money if you were to be the winner of Top Shot. I'd like to end my video with this representation of the answer to that question, how I would spend the money. In my 12 years with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, there have been 4 deputies: John Holloman, James Weaver, Rocky Lemus, and Michael Callan, who have died as a result of a duty-related injury or illness. A 5th deputy, Adam Pierce, was paralyzed from the waist down after he was shot by a career felon. Should you select me to compete in this coming season, I can promise you that I will shoot, throw, kick, claw, and fight with every ounce of my being to become the next Top Shot. This is something that I want, and it's something I believe I can excel in. But the competition is what will be my reward. As far as the money and the prizes, they would be divided equally among the families of the 5 that you just saw. You can keep it for themselves or donate it to their favorite charity. It's their choice. Any small amount left over after a division among those 5 families would be spent for something on my wife, who has been very supportive throughout this whole procedure and would have to go without me for several weeks during the filming. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I hope to make a big splash in this season's Top Shot.